Hey everyone, welcome back. We're going to be taking a deep dive into something pretty fascinating today. It's all about how two people, Aaron and Evan, structure their entire day to kind of like maximize happiness. And
Mm.
and you're going to go through it like literally from morning till night
Oh, wow.
to see how they do it.
Okay.
And maybe get
Yeah.
some ideas for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is really fascinating to sort of like step into someone else's routine and see how all those little decisions that they're making throughout their day end up
That's
adding up to something bigger.
exactly.
And what I think is really interesting with Aaron and Evan particularly is that they both really emphasize
Okay.
starting their day peacefully and intentionally,
Oh,
like resisting that urge to just like grab your phone
yeah.
first thing in the morning.
Tell me more about that. Like how do they resist that? Because that's like the hardest thing for me.
No, I know. So, Erin, she starts her day with some gentle stretching,
Okay.
like right there in bed, kind of easing her body and mind awake instead of
Yeah.
being like, bam,
Yeah.
you know, phone
Oh,
screen.
right.
Evan, he goes for a cold water face wash.
Whoa.
I know.
I am not on team cold water.
Are you not?
I'm like team very warm shower,
Okay. Okay.
like Evan does.
Gotcha.
I've heard good things about the cold, though.
Oh, yeah. There are tons of benefits to cold exposure.
Hmm.
Helps with circulation, makes you more alert, even boosts your mood sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. But I think with both of them, it's not really just about like the physical effects. It's that they're both really prioritizing connecting with themselves before they kind of let all that chaos of the day come rushing in.
Makes sense. That's like setting the tone for the whole day.
Exactly.
Okay, so they've had their little peaceful wake up. What about breakfast?
Breakfast. Yeah, so they're both big believers in a good, healthy breakfast.
Okay.
But their approaches are pretty different. So Erin, she loves her oatmeal.
Okay.
Lots of fiber keeps her full, like all morning. But then she'll add all the toppings, fruit, nuts, like the whole shebang.
Okay. That sounds
Yeah,
simple.
whereas Evan, he's more of a protein-focused guy.
Okay.
So scrambled eggs or avocado toast are his go-tos.
Interesting. So she's getting that slow energy release from the fiber. He's getting that protein for focus.
Exactly.
It's like they're both setting themselves up for success, but just in slightly different ways.
Yeah, for sure. It goes to show that there's no one right way to do any of this.
Yeah,
It's about finding what works best for you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now I want to know, what are they listening to in the morning?
The soundtrack to their morning.
Yeah, I feel like what you listen to in the morning can really set your mood for the whole day.
Oh, totally. So Erin, she loves to put on some upbeat music, maybe listen to a podcast, something inspiring
Okay.
while she gets ready. But Evan, he likes to keep things a little more chill.
Okay.
So maybe some like soft instrumental music, something to create that like calm and focused vibe.
I can see that. It's like choosing the right music for a workout, right? We want to pick something that's going to get you pumped and in the zone.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, let's fast forward a little bit.
Okay.
Now we're in the afternoon. We all hit that slump after lunch.
Ugh, the dreaded afternoon slump.
How do Aaron and Evan deal with that?
So the both seem to be big believers in the power of movement
Okay.
to combat that afternoon slump. Evan likes to take a walk around the block just to get some fresh air,
Makes sense.
change of scenery. Erin, if she's really feeling stuck, she'll actually schedule little mini breaks on her phone
Oh, wow.
to remind herself to get up and stretch or just take a few deep breaths.
I love that. That's such a good idea because it's so easy to get like glued to your computer and forget to even just stand up.
Totally.
Okay, so they're moving around. What about lunch?
Lunch. Yeah, so they both prioritize a balanced lunch. Nothing
Mhm.
too heavy that's going to weigh them down.
Right.
Lots of veggies, lean protein, healthy fats.
Okay, so like no giant plates of pasta. No, definitely not.
Smart. But sometimes you need more than just food to stay focused.
Oh, tell me about it.
Do they have any productivity hacks that they use?
They do. So Evan is a huge fan of the Pomodoro technique.
Okay.
You know, that 25 minutes of work, 5-minute break thing.
Right.
He swears by it for tackling those bigger tasks
Yeah.
and just like avoiding burnout.
Yeah, I've heard good things about that.
Yeah.
What about Erin?
Erin is all about prioritizing.
Okay.
So she'll start her afternoon by making a list of her top 3 priorities for the day.
Okay.
It helps her stay focused on what really matters.
Yeah, because it's so easy to get bogged down with all the little things.
Totally.
And then you forget about the big picture.
Exactly. But even with the best productivity hacks, sometimes you just need a little pick-me-up in the afternoon.
Oh, for sure. Is that where the afternoon coffee comes in?
You guessed it.
Okay.
So usually around 3 p.m., they'll both have a cup of tea or coffee.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even really about the caffeine at that point.
Yeah. It's more about the ritual, like a little signal to the brain that it's time to power through the rest of the day.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so their workday's over now, but
Yeah.
obviously their routines don't stop there, right?
Of course not.
So let's move on to their evening routines in part 2.
Sounds good. All right, so we're back and we're diving into their evening routines.
Yeah, because like the workday's over, but the day's not over.
Exactly.
So how do they like transition out of work mode, into chill mode?
Yeah, that's super important to kind of like create that separation.
Yeah.
So Evan has this thing he does where he reviews his day and anything that didn't get finished.
Okay.
He moves it to tomorrow's to-do list.
Oh, interesting.
He says it like helps clear his mind and prevent those work worries from like creeping in later.
That's a good idea. What about Erin?
Erin's more of a physical person, so she likes to go for a walk
Okay.
or do some stretching after work
Mm-hmm.
just to like release any pent-up energy from the day.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so they transition. What about dinner?
For dinner.
Like, I feel like dinner is such an important time
Oh, totally.
to like connect and relax and just enjoy a good meal.
Absolutely.
What do they do?
So for both of them, it's all about being present during dinner.
Okay.
No phones, no TV, just good food and conversation.
Oh, that's so important.
Right.
I am 100% team no phones at the dinner table.
Yes.
Okay. But practically speaking, do
Yeah.
they cook? Do they order in? Like, what's the situation?
So Erin, she loves to cook.
Okay.
She likes to experiment with new recipes, even if they're like simple ones. It's kind of like her creative outlet.
Okay.
Evan, on the other hand, is more about efficiency. So he sticks to tried and true recipes, or he'll even do some meal prep
Interesting.
during the week.
So it's like she likes the process of cooking.
Yeah.
He likes to have things planned out.
Exactly.
But either way, it's like intentional,
Definitely. It's about making a choice about how you want to spend your time.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Evan does this other thing
Oh, yeah.
where after dinner he tidies up the kitchen
Oh, that's nice.
and he says it just makes him feel calm, like a sense of order before he like settles in for the night.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I can't relax if there are dishes in the sink.
Me too.
Okay, so what about after dinner?
After dinner, well, this is where you really see their different personalities come out. I think
Okay.
Evan might watch a show or read a book or listen to music, something pretty low-key.
Okay.
Erin likes to be a little more social, so sometimes she'll call a friend or listen to a podcast, something upbeat.
Interesting. So it's like they're both recharging,
Yes.
but in different ways.
Exactly. It's about finding those activities that make you feel good.
Absolutely. And then obviously they've got to get ready for bed at some point.
Right.
So what are their pre-sleep routines like?
Well, this is where things get really interesting, I think.
Okay, tell me more.
Because both of them are really mindful about winding down their tech use in the evening.
Okay. That's something I'm trying to be better at, but it's hard.
It is. It's so tempting to just like scroll on your phone before bed.
Right.
So what Evan does is he starts by dimming the lights in his apartment
Okay.
around 9 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
and he puts away most of his electronics.
Smart. Like signaling to his brain that it's time to chill.
Yeah, exactly.
What about Erin?
Erin takes it a step further and actually removes her phone from her bedroom
Oh, wow.
completely.
That's some serious dedication.
Right.
Okay, but beyond the tech, what are their like cozy bedtime rituals?
So Evan likes to take a warm shower and put on comfy clothes.
Cool.
Just like those little things that help you relax, you know?
Yeah.
Erin likes to do a little reflection on her day
Oh, interesting.
or even make a gratitude list,
Oh, I love
focusing on the positive.
I've heard that's really good for sleep too. Like shifting your mindset to those happy thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what about the practical stuff?
Ah, yes, the logistics.
Like setting the alarm and then prepping for the next day.
So both of them are really good about setting themselves up for a smooth morning.
Okay.
So setting their alarm, laying out their clothes, maybe jotting down a quick to-do list.
Right.
All those little things that just like minimize stress
Right.
and make things easier.
It's like giving yourself a gift in the morning,
Exactly. And I think what's really cool about all of this is that it shows that their routines are not just about efficiency.
Yeah.
They're about consciously creating a life that they enjoy.
That's such a good point. It's like they were saying, hey, life's a journey.
Yeah.
Let's make it a good one.
Exactly.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of like their day.
The end of the routine.
Yeah, but the deep dive's not over yet.
Ah.
Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll wrap it all up. Okay, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling super inspired by Aaron and Evan's routines.
Me too.
Uh,
It's amazing how much we can learn from just like observing how other people structure their days.
Right. And it's like they figured out how to make their routines work for them, you know?
Exactly. It's not about following some rigid set of rules.
Right.
It's about finding what brings you joy and helps you feel your best.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the big question for our listeners is like, okay, this is all great, but how do I actually apply this to my own life?
Yeah, that's the key, right? It's one thing to listen to all this and be like, oh, that's cool. But how do we actually make it actionable?
Right. So let's think about that for a second. What's one thing that our listeners could take away from Aaron and Evan's routines and actually implement in their own lives?
Hmm. Well, I think a good starting point would be to think about which parts of their routines really resonated with you.
Yeah.
Like, did you love the idea of a tech-free dinner?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe Aaron's gratitude practice before bed?
Yeah, or even just swapping that morning phone scroll for a few minutes of stretching.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be anything huge.
Right.
Just start small, pick one thing, and
Yeah.
try it out for a week or two.
Yeah, and if it doesn't work for you, no big deal.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all approach here. It's all about experimenting, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And remembering that even those small changes can make a big difference over time.
Absolutely. It's like
Yeah.
you're giving us permission to become the designers of our own days, you know?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
such a great way to put it. We have so much more control over our lives than we often realize.
Yeah, and it starts with those small intentional choices that we make each day.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to encourage everyone listening to take a moment and think about one small change that you could make
Mm-hmm.
to create a happier and more fulfilling life for yourself.
Beautifully said. And remember, you don't have to do it all at once.
Right.
Just one small step at a time.
Exactly.
And who knows, maybe you'll discover a whole new routine that you absolutely love.
That's the beauty of it. You never know what you might find.
So that's it for today's deep dive.
Thanks for joining
We'll
us.
see you next time.